Hey everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie, I'm your host, and I'm so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is the 23rd of January 2019 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I want to also welcome you to the show. I want to let you know that I am live streaming this event from the chat room, and I'd love to see you there. To get to the chat room, head over to 12radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat room. If you have never joined before, you will want to ask for entry, but my valiant and talented producer, Britt, is standing by and she'll gladly let you in the door. So that's how it works. Now you can listen, if you want to listen and watch the live stream, you'll want to turn your speakers off because the timing is a little different. So no one needs any whiplash today, right? You probably are barely recovering from that eclipse. We had eclipse hangover for the last 2 days. Today feels quite a bit better, but I don't want to do anything to screw you guys up. I am glad you're here, though. In the chat room at the top of the page, you'll see my banner, and that's the place to ask questions, put comments, ask for readings. That's the place that I'll see them. If you put them in the live stream, they just move so fast that a lot of times I can't come back to them and I don't see them. So that's the place to go. I want you to know that I should have some time today for readings. So if you need any kind of a reading, energy healing, anything else, animal communication, a pep talk, a cheerleader, whatever it is you need, throw it up there in the chat room and I'll see what I can get to today. So I wanted to have a fun show, a light show, but I also feel like there's some important things that we need to talk about and address. So one really exciting and important announcement is that I am near ready to release my new book, and I'm going to release it next week. And then next week on the show, I think I'm going to go ahead and just release it and, we'll really pimp it on my show next week. And then I'm going to come back and do Kai's show. So that'll be 2 hours after mine. Of course, there's the Katie Weaver show at 10, Angel with an Edge at 11, and then the Long Road with Kai Greenway is at noon. So Kai has very kindly invited me to come and let her interview me about the book. So I'm really excited to do that. So Wednesday is launch day. So that's what's going to happen. I'm excited. I'm really ready to get this book out. It's, it's been complete for a month now, more than a month, about 6 weeks now, just not 100% edited. So that's what's on my plate right now. It's not a big plate. There's not much to do, but anyway, I've kind of, I've done that procrastinating thing that we all sometimes do. And I finally decided I just have to schedule a launch because that will make me do the damn work, right? So anyway, next week, that's what we're going to do. We will launch Annie's Girls and we'll talk a lot more about it. That is the new novel that I've just finished and releasing. That was my mom's book. This is a book that my mom, began and then I finished. Shaylin, I love you. Shaylin said, did Rhonda comment on your page again with the release date? So Shaylin remembers that story. You're amazing. You guys probably don't, many of you, but I'll tell it. When I wrote my first book, I had it mostly done for a couple of years and was doing that procrastinating thing that is just completely ridiculous, but a thing we do. And Rhonda had enough. And so she hacked my Facebook page. Rhonda, my sister-in-law, one of the psychic sisters, you guys probably know her. She hacked my Facebook page and posted that I had just finished my book and I was so excited to release it and gave a release date. And by the time I saw the hack, because she did it while I was seeing a client, like 25 people had already commented about how excited they were to read the book and couldn't wait for it to come out. And I knew I had two options. I could either just finish the book and get it out, or I could, continue to mess around, pull the post down and, just keep screwing around. So I did the aforementioned. I decided that I was going to do it, finish it. So Rhonda kind of forced me, into finishing that book. And I did. And of course, you can find that one over on Amazon. That's The Very Best Thing by Katie Weaver. That one came out, gosh, what, 7 years ago? 6 years ago, I guess. Anyway, Shaylin, that's hilarious that you said that. I'll have to tell Rhonda that you told me that. She didn't this time, but she probably would if I keep messing around, because my sisters are begging me to get it out because they want to see it go live. So I think I need to honor my mama and get it done. So that's what's going on with that. Okay, guys, let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look at the magazine. We're going to do some drumming today and talk about drumming a little bit. I think it's timely. And while I'm not the expertiest of experts, I have some background, so I'm going to share what I know. But I'd like to share the magazine with you first. So I'm going to throw up a link in the chat room. And then we'll keep on moving. A lot of really good stuff this week in the magazine, was my opinion. Okay, come on, Facebook. Alrighty. Okay, so there's a link in the chat room, but you can also find it by going over to katie-weaver.com and clicking on the chat button. Or not the chat button. Wow. I'm right back to 1-2 radio. Go to katie-weaver.com and click on the Katie's Magazine button, and you'll find it right there. All right. So I had mentioned in the magazine that I did go to the Women's March over the weekend, and I was so excited because it's, 3 years strong, and at least in our community. And the first year, I had just had my thyroid out and was literally not leaving my house at all. So I was very disappointed, but I couldn't go. And last year, I had bronchitis and I couldn't go. And I was so bummed. So this year, I was there with bells on, feeling a million times better. And so I was so excited. Christy spoke, which was absolutely lovely. There were some beautiful speakers, some really good things that happened. But one of the things that really struck me was it wasn't just one, actually, it was a few, but the oldest of the older ladies that were standing across from me during the speakers, she was easily in her 80s. She had, little close cropped white grandma hair. She was so cute. She had these fierce, pissed off blue eyes. This was a grandma you didn't mess with. I know that right now. She was the one that would definitely smack you in the back seat if you were messing around. She had on a pussy hat that was crocheted. I'll bet you she made it. That was huge. Like it stood way above her head. It was kind of funny, but it was so empowering to see her. And she was clearly fired up, pissed off, fighting for change. And I looked at her and I was thinking about her lifetime and all of the social justice that she has seen, all of the human rights violations and then changes that she has seen. And it made me wonder, how many rallies, how many campaigns, how many conversations has this dear woman had fighting for a better world for me and my children and my grandchildren and her children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren that she most, certainly probably has at this point. But there she was, in the snow, in the cold. It was about 32 degrees outside, and we were standing on a sidewalk in front of our public library that was covered in snow and ice, and she had on her boots and her coat and her big pussy hat, and she was ready to go. I was just so empowered by her and the other ladies standing around her and their husbands, because there were quite a few little old men with them as well that were just as fired up. And some of them had signs, some of them didn't. Some of them walked and some of them stayed at the library for the aftermath, the speakers to come. But wow, I want to be her, I need to be her. We all need to be her. But what she has lived through in women's rights, in African American rights, and other people of color, as far as the women's rights just blow me away, to be honest. As far as LGBT rights and so many other things, it's just phenomenal. So that was the thing that really struck me the most about the Women's March. What an empowering, powerful thing to have those examples there with us. I actually called this magazine this week A Guide to Freedom. And I did that because I felt like there were a lot of articles that were helping us to set ourselves free spiritually. Just set ourselves free from whatever it is that we're struggling with, from pain, from fear, from feeling stuck, from financial issues, from lots of stuff, from the head game that never ends, right? So that's why I called it The Guide to Freedom. The memoir that I wrote this week was a fun story about ice fishing as a kid. It came up for me because it was my dad's birthday last week. And on his birthday, my uncle sent me a text and said, "Hi, Kate. Me and the boys are out ice fishing in memory of Kenny and laughing and having a good time. I'm sure he's here with us." And it made me cry, of course, because that stuff just always does. But it really made me think about ice fishing and all of the debacles as a kid. You know, there were no boys in our family. And my dad was a hunter and a fisherman and a real outdoorsy guy. And in our family, at least, some of the women do a lot of that stuff, but it wasn't really necessarily our jam. Kara was brave enough to try hunting one time. Then she saw a deer die, and it broke her heart in pieces, and she never went again. But I could never do the hunting thing. There was just no way. But fishing was another story. We went fishing with my dad all the time. So ice fishing was one of those things. But if you've never been ice fishing, it's one of the most miserable experiences of your entire life. It's also kind of scary because you're standing on top of the water, on top of the reservoir that's hundreds of feet deep. And it just always set my mom's teeth on edge a little bit to have us out there. Mine too. We'd ride out onto the ice on a snowmobile. So obviously it was strong. And clearly my dad wasn't taking us into places that we weren't safe. But, it used to make me a little nervous. But anyway, I laughed a lot this week thinking about shenanigans of ice fishing, falling through the ice, constantly, the poor man tried to take us ice fishing many times, but I can't imagine he got to catch a thing because we were a pain in the ass. 3 little girls that didn't know how to fish and definitely weren't going to bait their hook and, were cold and complaining the second we got there. And, he was a trooper, but he never quit taking us. He never did. Anyway, you can read that whole memoir there. My January reading special. So this will be the last week of this reading special. This is my 12-month overview. It is a video reading. So how it works is you purchase it as an email reading over at one2listen.com. And then I will lay out cards. I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot and my deck. I'll lay out cards and give you guys a great reading about the whole year to come so that you know what's going on. And I think that will really help some of you to kind of give you a compass or a map of the upcoming year. They're a fun reading. So I put the link in the chat room. Again, this will be the last week I keep it up, and then I'll pull it down for the year and we'll bring it back next year. So if you were wanting to get in on that reading, this would be the week to do it. All right, good enough. Okay, our crystal guidance from Christy this week is the Banded Agate. Supports physical and mental energy, encourages action, and brings courage. There's that guide to freedom again, right? If those are some of the things you're needing, pick up a Banded Agate. All right, and then she pulls us a card from her Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. And the card, you may have noticed that these are cards you've not seen before. She's creating brand new cards to refresh her deck that she published last year. And she's sharing them with us, which I think is awfully generous of her. So this is the ACT card. There's that freedom thing again, right? All right, the primary message. Action, motion, time to choose, physical movement, and create change. Excuse me. The challenge is resistance, apathy, inertia, indecision. The crystal, of course, is Banded Agate, and the meditation. I trust my choices and move forward with my plan. I trust my choices and move forward with my plan. I live for that, I think. I think it's something we all need to That's an affirmation that needs to go right in our toolbox, right? Because yes, it's time to trust your choices and move forward with your plan and not let anybody else throw cold water on them. All right, Kai wrote an article called Energy Psychology. It is brilliant. It's about all of the energy work, the science behind it. There's some tapping in there. There's a lot of scientific info in there. And Kai, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So thank you for bringing us that. It validates a lot of the work I do. And, not that it has to be validated, but I really love the scientific piece of it. So thank you for bringing that to us. It was brilliant. Alrighty. The tip of the week is a brand new one. This is a lavender lip scrub. This time of year, do you guys get some chappy, icky lips? I know I live in a really dry place, and so we're prone to it, but this is really easy. Take 2 drops of lavender oil, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, the firm stuff, not the stuff that's been broken down so that it's liquid. Use the whole coconut oil. 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of honey. Blend well, and then spread a layer onto your lips and scrub gently to exfoliate. Gently. Don't scrub your lips off, but scrub gently to take off any of that dead skin and stuff. And then rinse your lips and pat dry. You've already moisturized them good, so you should be good to go. Store it in a sealed jar in the fridge. There's no preservatives in this, so just to be safe, keep it there. And you can use that every so often when you feel like you just need it. You can put a different oil in there too if you want to. I wouldn't recommend hot oils. Like, don't put cinnamon oil directly on your lips. That's just a bad idea, or other hot oils. But any other oil that you feel like you want to try, within reason, give it a shot. Okay, Brittany wrote an article called Eclipse This, thinking about being ready for the eclipse, being ready for change, being ready for the wheel to constantly turn. I loved what she had to say this week. I felt like she just, she talked about all of us, that tend to sabotage ourselves, that tend to not always move forward with our plans, and I think some absolution, but also some encouragement. So thank you, Britt. Alrighty, Elizabeth's weekly cosmic strip. I love it. It's the Stargazer, of course, because we did have that wild eclipse. Do right till the stars fall. Absolutely beautiful art. I'm so impressed with what she's doing with her cosmic strip, and I know she's talking about it more on Angel with an Edge right after this show as well. Dr. Elisa says, stop searching for your passion and purpose. When you are still, they find you. I loved it. Loved it. She's right. Sometimes we forget that you don't always have to do something to make something happen. I think that we've been too ingrained with that idea in our society that you have to take action. It's sometimes true. However, sometimes the thing that you should be doing, that you need to be doing, is right in your lap. You just you don't see it as that regal maybe, or you just don't get it for a minute. But so frequently, I think when we stop and we are still, our passion and purpose is right in front of us. Sometimes I think we realize that it is exactly what we're doing. I hope that's true for a lot of us. The Magic Monday message from Melissa Caprio, I loved it. She told me that she was having fun with that full moon energy. She gave me this on Monday. It's just cool. She does the coolest work, so thank you for that. This Intuitive Life by Chrisanne Morgan. Knowing what you know and owning it. I loved it. How often do we not trust our intuition? Do we not trust our gut and later on say, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done that. I knew I couldn't trust that person. I knew I should have made that phone call. Whatever it is. Great encouragement from Chrisanne to trust yourself. And then, of course, Anita and the Masters. Anita brings us Archangel Raphael this week. Archangel Raphael for healing. A lot of you have worked with Raphael in the past. She has some really good tips to working with him and some encouragement to do so. So thank you, Anita, for that. So that's the magazine this week. I hope that it brought you guys all some some guidance, some peace, some knowledge, a chuckle, whatever it is that you were looking for. And of course, if you want to subscribe to receive the magazine, all you have to do is go over to katie-weaver.com. Right there on the homepage, there's a little spot that says subscribe. If you subscribe to it, I will send you the magazine once a week. Or also on the homepage, there's my video for the week, but right below that is the way that you subscribe for the daily reading. I do send out a reading every single day. It's an energy read for the day. Sometimes it's more energetic, sometimes it's not. It's more practical, sometimes it's more spiritual. I'm not in charge here. I just do what Spirit says. And so that's what you get. But you can subscribe for that right there. And if you're on my list to receive the daily reading, I will also always send you Luminous. So you'll actually get 8 emails a week from me. But that's how that works. The daily reading has been really popular and is really going gangbusters. So it's a lot of fun. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's keep on moving. You guys are so awesome. So encouraging. Okay. All right, let's do the daily read or the weekly reading. So, okay. I muted you guys so that I could sneeze. So sorry for the people in the live stream who got to have that anyway. There's nothing I can do about that. All right, let's do the daily reading or the weekly reading. This comes from my deck, from the Ground Blessed Protected Move deck. And I'm excited to bring it to you guys as always. It's a 5-card spread. We're looking at 4 different areas of self-care, as well as 1 boost card to just give you 1 extra little marching order this week to see what you can do to make yourself feel amazing. So the ground card this week is the water card. Grounding with water is really powerful. And I'm glad this card came up actually, because I've been doing a lot of grounding this week with you guys. The eclipse kind of, feckered everybody up. And is that a word? It is today. And I have a lot of clients feeling really ungrounded. The wild thing is that the earth hasn't been all that interested in letting us ground to her. I think she's had enough of us for now. So I have been grounding people to water, but I've also been doing, or to the earth, but doing a lot of grounding people to water too. So a couple of ideas. One is that you simply pull a thread from your root chakra and plug it in to a body of water that's meaningful for you. Maybe it's a river, maybe it's a lake, maybe it's an ocean. That's totally up to you. The other way to ground with water is to get yourself in it in some way. Run your hands under cold water for about 60 seconds. Actually, works out really, really well. When you say you're at work and you're feeling really off kilter, go in the bathroom, turn on the water, run cold water over your hands for about 60 seconds. And that typically will shock you back into your body and ground you quickly and easily. But you can also ground with water by getting in it, of course. Go swimming, take a sea salt bath, get in the ocean, Go put your feet in the snow if you live at my house. I wouldn't do that, but you can if you want. My dogs don't even want to do that, nor do the pigs, but, such is life. Anyway, you can also ground by drinking water. Just having a big drink, a big glass of water, and just allow the energy of water to move all the way through your cells and ground you. And you can ground by sitting in front of a body of water, just sitting with it and meditating with it. So those are all great ways to ground. Okay. They must be having a drill at one of my kids' schools, I have to say. I just got a flurry of texts that are showing up on my phone from my 16-year-old. It says they're on lockdown. I'm not worried. I think it's just a drill. She's not worried. She says she's bored to death and doesn't know if she can get through this. But, when I was a kid, we didn't have drills like that. What did we have, We would have the very occasional fire drill and a once-in-a-lifetime earthquake drill, and that's all we had. Because that's all we get where I live. But anyway, It's sobering, I think, now that they have lockdowns and shooter drills every month at their school. It's just crazy. Yeah, scary. Anyway, it's the world we live in. Okay, back to our real thing, our reading. All right, the crown chakra. Here we go. So this is the bless card this week. So blessing the crown. Well, the crown is vital to stay balanced and to stay blessed. This is, of course, the chakra that's right above your head. Looks about like a volleyball is how I would like to see it. In a lot of you, it looks more like a big old cloud, but we'll fix that from time to time. But this chakra is really important to stay in balance. And if it's not in balance, that really creates some energetic issues. Oh, the lockdown is over, just in case you're wondering. Okay, you're probably not. Crown chakra. So here's the thing with the crown. The crown chakra is a great way to bring yourself into balance, right? You have to have a balanced crown to feel great. If your crown's out of balance, that can bring energies of feeling depressed, anxious, scattered, an inability to focus, sometimes an inability to feel like you're connecting to your guidance. They're all big problems, you know? And so it's really important to find a way to keep that crown in balance. So how do you bless your crown? Well, I have a couple of suggestions for you. I always tell you that I think that some of the most important blessings you can give to you or that you can receive are the ones you give yourself. Put your hands right on your crown, right? And then bless it with whatever it is that you feel like you need. You need balance. You need to feel more connected. You need guidance or blessings from your angels. What is it that your crown needs? That's totally up to you, right? But this is how you do it. So put your hands right in your crown and speak aloud or in your heart, whatever it is you need from your crown. Now, I really like to seal blessings in with an essential oil to anoint them. And in the crown, chamomile, lavender, rose, those are all really good ones. But if you have something else you want to use, that's totally okay too. Yeah. Okay. The protect card is the brick wall. This is a good one, I think, when you just need to protect yourself from the energy of people that you're around. This is useful, I think, a lot of times in the office or in the apartment building when you have neighbors that you can't handle, things like that. That you sit, you breathe, and you envision building a brick wall between yourself and that coworker or that next door neighbor or whatever it is that you need some separation from. This is energetic separation, right? This is for the empaths that can't help but feel so much that's happening around them and may or may not be feeling good about what they're happening around them. The brick wall really helps. All right, and the move card is walk. That's easy enough, right? Take a walk around the block. Walk through your office building. Go walk through the mall. Whatever, but walk this week. Move your body. Give yourself an opportunity to clear out. Moving your body helps to release any stuck energy that you're carrying. And of course, it helps to boost some happy hormones. So I think we can all walk a little bit. If you can't get outside and walk, do something else. Stretch, dance, march in place, whatever. March in place. That makes me laugh. Isn't that something we did in grade school? All right, the boost card this week is just right. That's right, it's time to write. Journal, blog, or notebook. You can't make the wrong choice when you are spilling your guts. Use this as an opportunity to release anything you need to release. Do a little writing this week. You know, I have been on all of you to work on your memoirs for a while now. Maybe this is a good call to action. So that is the Ground Blessed Protected Move reading this week. All righty. So, seeing a lot of good stuff coming up in the chat room that I will definitely address. I want to talk a little bit about drumming. What happened in the U.S., right? There was that altercation that happened on Saturday. It was ugly on all sides. It was, I think it's been misrepresented on all sides in every way. I'm not even going to comment on what I think really did or didn't happen because frankly, the whole thing is so charged and it's so convoluted and it's so yucky. I don't even want to touch it. I do want to say that I think as per normal, we had a hysteria over it that probably shouldn't have happened. I don't think that sending death threats to children is ever okay. I think we can behave better than this everywhere on all sides of the aisle. But one thing that bothered me was that in so many accounts, they talked about Nathan Phillips banging his drum in the face of the boy, right? I read banging his drum so many times that I wanted to scream. And I thought, it just pisses me off. It's kind of disrespectful. No, it is. It's not kind of disrespectful. It's very disrespectful. I don't like it. He wasn't banging his drum. He's not a 3-year-old with the drum set that his uncle gave him to drive his parents crazy. He is an elder. And he was playing his drum. He was pounding his drum. And hell, if you want to say banging his drum, do, but say it with some kind of respect because it wasn't said with respect. It was said in a sense of total misunderstanding of what he was doing. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Now, am I a BL expert on drumming? I am not. I trained with a grandmother for quite a few years. I've drummed for a long time. I've been to many drum circles. I've trained in a few different modalities of drumming. I can't speak for everybody, and I certainly cannot speak for his nation. But I can tell you what I know, and I can drum for you. What I know is drumming and chanting that he was doing is intended to bring people together. It's intended to break down barriers. It's intended to heal the people. And I do believe that the intention of them drumming, and they were of course at the Indigenous Walk, was for that purpose. And I think that that needs to be respected or at least understood a little bit before people start, accusing Nathan of banging his drum. Because come on. What he does is a huge art form, and what he does is a huge gift to our planet. So what I wanted to do, I just wanted to say that because I feel like everyone, we need to remember that he and, some of the people that were with him were pretty disrespectful, but he couldn't control that. If I go to a rally and some of the people that I'm with say some terrible things, that's not really my fault, It may not be the best way to represent me, but I can't control what other people say. There was a girl in particularly that I thought was pretty combative and said some things that probably didn't need to be said. And then again, so did everybody there. So that's neither here nor there for me right now. I just really wanted to address the drumming piece. So what he was playing is similar to the drum that I'm going to show you here, except for his was a million times cooler and has probably been pounded on a billion times more than mine. But it's a medicine drum, which means that it's a round drum with a head that is likely some kind of animal skin, perhaps a deer, an elk. I don't know. His had a lot of dark color into it. I wasn't sure if that was dyed or if that was actually the color of the animal it came from. I wish I knew. It's always open in the back. That's where you hold on to it. But that's also where the frequency comes out. And so that's, when you're pounding or banging on your drum. Ooh, I said banging. See, now I'm going to bug myself. I can say it in a better context though, right? Anyway, when you pound your drum, the vibration comes out of the back of it. And that's where most of the healing happens. So I wanted to drum for you guys a little bit today, holding the intention of allowing any energy that you're carrying that's not serving your highest and best purpose to be released in your body, in your spirit, in your emotional body. Let's just let go of anything we're carrying right now that we don't need. A couple of things to know. If you're on headphones, this might be loud, so you might want to turn me down. Also, drumming is a way for you to release, but in some people, when you first start hearing the drum, it will create a fight or flight. It does for me. and I know it does for a lot of other people. If you can breathe with me and breathe through it, you'll be able to experience a good release. If you can't, you know what? If your nerves are too afraid for me today, that's okay too. No judgment here. But if you experience a fight or flight, know that that's actually pretty normal, and you don't have to fight. You don't have to fly. You can just breathe through it, or at least give it a shot. All right, so let's go ahead and go. I'm going to drum for maybe 2 minutes. So again, just holding the intention that anything that you're carrying that is no longer serving you be released. Okay, so a few deep breaths here with me. Ground back down. Good. Okay. We needed that. Maybe we needed it to burn off all of the collective anger and energy that's exploding right now. Maybe we needed it for our own stuff. Maybe we needed it because that eclipse was wild. For whatever reason, I think we needed it. Jan said, wearing headphones and turning it way up. Well, good. I just didn't want to blow anybody out of the water, Jan. All right, I'm going to take a look at the chat room. Bernadette, I see your message. She says, I really need your help. Thank you. How can I help? You are in deep distress. I can feel that. I feel like you are really on the edge right now, feeling a little depressed, feeling very anxious. Honey, if you can get a little bit more specific with me, I will help you more. I'm going to watch for your message. I do want to help you today. I just want to help you the best way I can. So let's do that. Jane wants to know how keto is going. I told you guys at the first of the year, this whole household went keto, right? It's going awesome. Awesome. Yeah. It's taken Scott and the girls a little bit longer to get totally on board. And with the girls, every time we end up in an eating out kind of situation, they just can't seem to, not order the pasta or whatever. But that's hard, and it's whatever. There's no judgment here from me at all. But actually, I've done really well with it. I feel really good and really not missing sugar at all. Feeling way better than, feeling like shit. So who wants to feel like that? And I have been, as you guys know, for quite some time. So it's been a really good decision for me, Jane. Yep. All right. Katie says she's got a job interview out of town, wondering if it's promising. It is. It's promising, and it may not be the exact position that you're applying for, but I feel like this is a good introduction to these guys, and that it is promising. There is an option there. So I'm going to hold the energy very high for you. I know how important this is for you and the girls, so let me know how it goes, and we'll all join you in putting a lot of light around this. I want to see you be able to move. I know you do too. So yay! It's exciting. An interview is a great first step. Okay. Jumping in the chat room. Okay. Jennifer said, I love it when I catch you live. I'd love a reading, finishing up loose ends here. Yeah, you are. Okay. Jennifer, I see some partnering. for you this year with other women in doing some of the work that you're doing. Not necessarily partnering in your work. I feel like they do something that's different than what you do, but maybe partnering in putting on some workshops or marketing together, a few things like that. And I feel like it's safe. I feel like these are people that you can work with and that you'll all represent each other well. So I feel like that's really important for you moving forward. I feel like you have gone through a little period where maybe over Christmas where you weren't feeling very good. And I feel like you've kind of been in a place where you felt like your progress was stalled for a little bit. And I think it probably was in some ways because you weren't well. That seems to have burned off too. So those are the things that come up really big for me. That encouragement on collaboration, because I think that's going to help you a lot this year professionally. Really just finishing burning off those last bits of maybe not feeling good or being in a bit of a space where you were, not in your best self. That has shifted as well. So I am expecting, Jennifer, a year for you where professionally you make a lot of progress forward. I also feel like your intuition has deepened a lot. You were already wildly psychic, but I think that going through a period of not feeling very good and going through a period of kind of forcing yourself to slow down actually was beneficial for you. You might for a little while have felt like it wasn't, that you were kind of stalled, but now that's good. So this is good. I can't wait to see what you do with collaboration and working with other women. I think it's going to be really empowering. So good job and more power to you on that. Okay, Bernadette says, my mom may need long-term care, which I can't provide per healthcare providers. And her legal documents are not in order, meeting with lawyer, and I'm unemployed and having problems with unemployment. Okay, all right. Well, there it is. Okay, let's see what we can do for you then, Bernadette. From an energetic standpoint, I would really like to ground you. You feel to me like you're in a state of survival right now, and the panic is high. The pain in your heart is really intense. And I feel like that's for two reasons. I mean, obviously the fear is here. I mean, there's some painful realities in your face right now, but I also feel like you're hurting a lot because of what's going on with your mom. And you're really not even having an opportunity to grieve the fact that her health has taken a big tumble. And I feel like her mental health has too. And you're just feeling pretty alone in this. And so I want to do some work on your heart for that reason as well, and some grounding. So let's do your work first, and then we'll talk about some options and see what we can help you with. So I'm going to slip into your field here. Nope, I was going to ground you first. Spirit says, no, we are not doing that first. We're going to work on that heart first. My God, your heart is so heavy, honey. I'm so sorry. All right, moving through your heart. Good. All right, pushing forward from the inside out. Good. I'm just going to lift some of that heaviness, a bunch of that heaviness actually, and clear it. And just remind you that it's okay for you to grieve this period of your mom's life. It has not been fun. It actually hasn't been fun for quite a while, but things have moved to a state now where I feel like, it's just worse than it's been. So lots of grounding for you too. So let's do that. Put a big clearing on that heart. You needed that. Okay. So on the practical side of the situation at hand, the lawyer's going to help you. I feel like meeting with the lawyer is going to answer some questions and help you out. The other thing I'm hearing, though, is that you need an advocate at the care facility. So choose the care facility, or maybe choose a couple that you're interested in, and go meet with them, with their owners or managers, and with their social worker. They usually have some people on staff that will help you with some of the financial questions and figure out what to do and what benefits she has or doesn't have, and kind of help you get to that state of being able to make those decisions with her and for her, mostly for her, I think. It's going to be a little painful with her for a little bit. And so you are going to need to employ the support of some peeps, you know, of some friends, of some people. Coming over here and asking for help was a brilliant idea. Let us support you through this. But I feel like you're going to get the answers you need. I do feel like you're going to find a way to get her into the care that she needs. It may require some changes in your world. It may require giving up some things that you wanted to hold on to, and that may include some real estate, I'm afraid. But you'll get the care she needs. On unemployment for you, because see, you're just spinning your wheels. You're in this place right now of survival mode, and so everything is like a start, but it's not finished. And what happens when you're in survival mode is you live for today, which means you're not making any plans for tomorrow because you can't, because you're just surviving today. With unemployment, I'm going to invite you to sit down with an unemployment specialist. I would really like for you to be able to go to their office and sit down and talk to them. Not do it over the phone, not do it over the internet, if possible. I know you have a lot on your plate. Talk to them, explain your situation, and see what additional help and services that you can get. I feel like you'll be able to work out this piece, at least for now, so that you can focus more of your energy and attention on getting mom settled, and then you can worry about getting a job for you. So it all comes down to advocates for you. I feel like you've got to get advocates going in the unemployment world, but also in the care facility world, and it's going to be okay. So sending a lot of peace and joy to you. I know that this is going to be a difficult time, but I also know you're going to get through it, and that here in a few months on the other side of it, you're going to look back and realize, okay, I made some good decisions. We're solid now. It's okay. So sending you so much love, and I'm sorry your family's going through this. Okay, Denise would love some guidance or a pep talk on her work and business for this upcoming year. Denise, you're going to let go of some stuff. I feel like you're going to let go of some things that you've done in the past, and maybe even some things you've done for a long time but you've been really sick of, and start doing some new stuff. This may have to do with it does have to do with your business, I think, but I feel like some of what you're doing has just gotten mundane and you're sick of it. And yet you're doing it anyway because, you know, it's business, it's work, it's what you're supposed to do, I guess. But the big hit I'm getting right now is that you need to really evaluate, what are you enjoying doing and what is just pissing you off? And if it's just not in your wheelhouse, if it's not your joy anymore, quit making yourself do it. You seriously just need to cut some stuff loose. I suspect that you're going to cut some boulders loose from your life as far as work is concerned, and bring in some new energy, some new ideas, perhaps some new clientele or some new products, but really just kind of refresh everything and do things a little differently than you have in the past. I feel like when you do, you're going to realize how much that was affecting you. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, and you're going to be kind of amazed that it took you this long to make these changes, and so excited that you did. So I'm excited to see what that is for you and how that plays out, because I feel like some people in your world are going to shake their head and think you've lost your mind, but later see how it plays out well to your advantage. So time for that inventory. If it's not working out, if you're feeling like you're having to force yourself to do stuff, let's really think about it. Okay. Bernadette said, thank you so much. You are so right and on the mark about everything. Many blessings to you. You are very welcome. Absolutely my honor. And thanks for popping in. All right. Christy said, if you have a minute, I would love a little reading on my golden retriever, Nikki. Her white blood count is getting high and she may be developing lymphocytic leukemia. Oh, let's take a peek at her. Christy, she is a little punky to me. I mean, I feel like she still plays, she still does, you know, her stuff, but she's a little bit weaker. I feel like she's a little bit more shaky, and I agree with you that she's not 100% herself. I just want to check in with her a little bit. You have such a great and empathic bond with her that I feel like you have been very aware of her not being her. She tells me that you're worried. She tells me that your stomach hurts and that this has been about all you could think about. She wants you to know that she doesn't feel like she's going anywhere anytime soon, and that she's kind of patting you on the head going, I'm okay, Mom. You know, she's a little worried too. She knows there's something up, but she trusts you implicitly with her health, with her life. And so I feel like the next 6 months with her are going to be, we're going to see her go through some stuff, some changes. We're going to see some things that are probably pretty concerning. But I want you to know that she trusts you. She is absolutely in alignment with whatever you decide to do for her. And she's okay. So trust yourself. When you feel it, when you know something's going on, trust yourself. Alrighty. And I'm sorry to hear that. All right. Shaylin said, I would like a reading. Since Justin and I got together, it feels like we were meant to be together the entire time. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love my late husband, but the connection between me and Justin, I swear you can see the sparks in Idaho. You're absolutely right, actually. I've watched this play out on Facebook, and I have seen those sparks. I'm also extremely excited to see if our little mystery little girl, Claire, is going to pop up in your world now. I think I'm really excited because I think she is. But Shaylin, it's okay. It's okay. I think that we have to do two things. First of all, you got to absolve yourself. You have no reason to feel guilty. And I feel like you're struggling with that a little bit. And I think some people in your world have kind of put that off on you. Like this was too soon, or like this is a betrayal to your late husband. It isn't at all. He doesn't want you to be lonely. He doesn't want you to be unhappy. And he doesn't want his little boys to grow up without a dad. And if he could have picked somebody for you, well, you know he did. He picked Justin. This is a good thing. This is a powerful thing for your family. I wish that you hadn't lost Dan. I know you do too, but you did. That's the reality of it. And so what do we do now? You move forward, and you've done that. You're still going to grieve him. You'll grieve him forever. The thing I love is that Justin knows that, and he's cool with that. He's not jealous. He's not mad. He understands that. He'll let you grieve. He'll let the boys grieve. But you've got a really good man here. You got a really good man here, willing to take on your little family and love your boys, and I couldn't be more overjoyed for you. But I really want you to sit with yourself. I want you to picture taking every bit of that guilt that other people have thrown at you and the stuff that you've done to yourself. And I want you to put it all in a jar and throw that jar into the earth and quit going there. You just don't have to. You can be in joy with Justin and with Dan. You can balance that. It's okay. So congratulations to you. I'm really excited for you. Okay, guys, we are just about done. Let me see if there's anything else I can do very quickly. Angie, I really wish I could get to your question. I'm just not going to have time to give you anything useful in the minute and a half that I've got left. But I can't walk away from this. Okay. All right. Angie's question was, my mom and stepdad died in February 2018. I haven't been able to move on. Anything you could tell me would be helpful. Okay. All right, Angie, again, I'm on really limited time, but I can't walk away from this one. I've got to give you whatever I can here. What is it with stuff, Angie? I see a lot of stuff. Do you have a bunch of their stuff? Maybe it's energetic stuff, but I see a lot of stuff that's carrying a lot of grief with it, a lot of memories with it, a lot of pain with it. If this is energetic stuff only, then you and I can clean that up. We can do it over at 1-2-Listen, or you can come back here and see me next week, but we can do that. If it is stuff, which I suspect it is, it's been almost a year. There is no timeline on grief, and nobody gets to tell you how to grieve. If you can't clear out that stuff yet, and you may not be able to, not too much stuff. Okay, so I think it's more energetic stuff. Actually, it's not. It's your space. Okay, thank you. I'm clearing that up for myself. It's your space. Your space is so heavy and full of grief and full of convalescing. I'm going to do a couple of things. I want to do some good clearing work on you. We're not going to get there today, but I still want to. I'm going to encourage you to clear your space. Smudge it. If you don't know how, do some research and learn how you can do that yourself. Let's clear your space of all of that heavy stuff. It doesn't mean you have to take it out. This is an energetic clearing. Just releasing and removing a lot of the heavy stuff that's just holding you down. That's a start. I also want to encourage you that anything that you are looking at every day that's making you unhappy or that's making you feel guilty or that's just bringing up unpleasant stuff, let's put it away for now. You don't have to get rid of anything. Just put it away for now. So you smudge and then come see me over at One Two Listen or come back here next week and we'll do a big Merkaba clearing on you. I feel like it really has to happen. Let's help you start moving forward. And I'm very sorry that that happened to your family. Alrighty, guys, we have definitely done it. We've talked down to the end of the show. I want to invite you to join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific with the Psychic Sisters. Definitely stay tuned. There's lots more great radio to come. And I will be over at One Two Listen for the rest of the day and evening. You're listening to The Katie Weaver Show on One Two Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.